everyone, it's John from What Up, and welcome back to another video, and we have some really exciting news to share with you this evening. I mean, the press embargo on this just lifted, so we can finally talk about it. We're getting a brand new animated movie from IWOT Productions based in the Wheel of Time world. Now, I know we normally talk about Wheel of Time show notes here on the channel. However, I am a huge fan, and I will talk about anything and everything related to the Wheel of Time. So if you like that sort of thing, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I am trying to hit 20,000 subscribers prior to September 1st of this year when Season 2 releases on Prime Video. Now, this is, to me at least, incredibly exciting. It's one of the very few brand new pieces of Wheel of Time stuff we've gotten in the last few years. Now, we've gotten the show, which is absolutely amazing in my opinion. We got The Origins of the Wheel of Time by Michael Livingston, which is another brand new piece of Wheel of Time. We're set in the Wheel of Time world, talking about different things within the Wheel of Time. But this is something a little bit different. The show takes the existing source material and adapts it. The book was sort of a primer. It talked about the origins of all the different things in the Wheel of Time. This is something brand new. This is sort of like an outrigger novel in animation form. Basically, it's going to be not based on anything in the stories, but based upon the world that Robert Jordan built. All right, so Zach Stentz is going to be writing The White Tower, and if you don't know who he is, he wrote Thor, he wrote X-Men First Class, Jurassic Park Camp Cretaceous, and a bunch of other different titles. He's a really good screenwriter, and it's been announced a while ago that he was partnered with IWOT for a different project. However, he is working on this one now. Now, the press release for The White Tower states that the feature will be set in a time before the events chronicled in the popular Wheel of Time television series from Amazon Studios and Sony Pictures Television. It is an action-adventure about a young girl with a special gift whose life is forever changed when evil visits her remote mountain village. Finding herself alone in a dangerous world, she must go to the White Tower to learn how to use her magical powers in order to save her family and friends. Rebellious and distrusting, she learns that friendship can be as powerful a weapon against any evil as any form of magic. Now, like I said earlier, this is kind of exciting because this is outside the source material. They can take a ton of creative liberties and basically do almost anything they want with the project. The only thing that I can think of that maybe sort of stepped outside and did the same thing was the Wheel of Time computer game, which was released a long time ago. I'm old, I'm showing my age. I did play it when it first came out, but it was recently re-released not too long ago. And I did a video about that here on the channel, and I got to interview the people who made the game. It was pretty interesting. Now, this particular animated movie is being made by Squeeze. Now, I mentioned they're from Quebec. They've done a ton of stuff. So they do a lot of mocap for games. So Assassin's Creed Origins is an example of something they've done. But they also do like kid-friendly type animation. So Secret Life of Pets Off the Leash. I'm sure most of you have probably heard of this particular animated movie. Even if you don't have kids, it was kind of a big hit. They did some of the adjacent stuff to that one. And they also did Marvel's What If on Disney Plus, which is really interesting. Now, they are an up-and-coming animation studio here in Canada, and they took on a ton of different projects, including The White Tower from IWOT. Kind of neat. Now, I did reach out to IWOT Productions, and I did get a quote about the animated feature, and it kind of made me just a little bit more excited because it puts it into perspective what they plan on doing with it. All right, so what IWOT said is we want to use animation as a way to make the story accessible to a young audience while bringing the world-building, danger, and adventure that are beloved by fans of the books. We give the audience a look inside the White Tower from a novice's point of view, as well as the understanding of the extraordinary struggle and commitment that marks a future Aes Sedai. Now, I think this is an incredibly smart move on IWOT's behalf for a bunch of different reasons, but when the show released on Prime Video, not only did a ton of people who read the books watch the show, but a ton of people who watched the show then started reading the books. It brought people into the books. I think this is going to do the same thing. And let's face it, both the books and the show are not age appropriate for all ages. Some of the concepts are a little too difficult to understand for younger people. However, an animated film kind of marketed towards children is, in my opinion, a smash hit because it allows parents to share their love for the Wheel of Time with children that maybe not would be able to understand the books of the show and kind of ease them into Jordan's world, and then later on they can pick up the books or start watching the show on Prime. I think it's an incredibly smart move. And I also really like the idea that it's set prior to the events of the show, so they have a ton of creative control. Now, I am one of those people who really look forward to perhaps some outrigger novels, something set beyond after the end of the Wheel of Time series or before, with different characters or even the same characters in Jordan's world, but just a different story. Now, they obviously didn't happen, and I don't believe they're in the works right now, but I still hold out hope that one day we'll see it, and this is the next best thing. It's a new Wheel of Time story set in the same world, which makes me incredibly happy. I can't wait to see it. Now, you've all heard what I thought, but I want to hear what you folks think. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. Do you think this is a good thing? Do you think that you would like to watch an animated film based upon brand new events and new characters in the world that Jordan created? Or are you quite happy with the books or the show? Either or. Let me know what you think. And how do you feel about being a novice? I think it's a great idea because you're looking at sort of a Hogwarts type thing that'll appeal to children. You have young women kind of running around getting in mischief and whatnot in the White Tower. And I think that would really make a good basis for a show for kids, because let's face it, a lot of popular shows have followed that model and had great success with it. I think the Wheel of Time should be no different in that aspect. Now, let me know what you folks think in the comments down below, and of course, I want to thank you all very much for sticking with me here to the very end, and here's to many more.